Hi everyone, it's Friday. Always glad to say it. It's a little heavier, of course, this Friday. Nevertheless, we're glad to have you with us on this 20th day of March. I got to say, completely escaped me, and I think I'd even had, I did have a big old note here on my calendar to the left. Spring started yesterday. Yay! We had some spring-like temperatures, certainly. We had some spring-like storms. A lot of folks in eastern Kentucky, the hazard area, certainly seeing one tornado that hit the ground, I do believe, some warnings, and some very severe weather. We'll get to our forecast in just a few moments. But it has been a very mild day today. A cold front approaching, though, is going to change all of that for your weekend. But spring is officially here. We at least have that going for us. No major, some significant, but no major updates locally in regards to the coronavirus. We do have an update in regards to the initial 6 tests which were performed or done here on 6 individuals in McGoffin County. We'll speak with our judge executive via Skype in just a few moments. I'll take you on a nickel tour around the studio today, mainly because I just wanted to let you in on what we're doing here to continue our operations and do so on a very limited number of people in the building. I'll elaborate in a few moments, take you around the studio and the Saggers Independent offices in just a few seconds, with a host of other news to follow as well. Let's go ahead, though, and go to our state and national updates this evening. Last evening in the governor's update, he outlined the second person in Kentucky who had died from COVID-19, a 64-year-old man from Jefferson County who passed away on the 13th. He also told us last evening of 12 new cases in Kentucky, including a 6-year-old Jefferson County boy, as in addition to an 8-month-old also from Jefferson County named just days ago. Also, a woman in Pulaski County became the first person from that region, the southern region of Kentucky. We'll have more on Pulaski County in just a few seconds. But last evening, the total at 47 positive cases across Kentucky. The governor then urging everyone, including churches, not to meet moving forward, but to do so online and have their services in that manner. He also signed an order this week banning all in-person gatherings, church services, festivals, governmental meetings as well. No more governmental meetings to be held in the Commonwealth. He started his address today at 5 o'clock, as he has for the past few weeks, and in doing so told us of a number of new cases. I believe 13 new cases in Kentucky since this time last evening, for a total of 63. The primary counties, Jefferson and Fayette, Henderson, Pulaski, and Callaway added to that list, as well as a host of others, Bourbon and others, which have smaller numbers. Pulaski and Callaway counties, though, will be referenced in a report that I have for you in just a few moments. A few other remarks made by the governor today. He thanked Kentucky's distilleries who are working and changing their method of operations and making hand sanitizer. He reminded everyone of our patriotic duty to not gather and self-isolate and social distance. He says he is urging, with no order yet, to limit funerals to only the immediate family and reduce visitation and head counts there as much as possible. No order yet, he says, but he's considering. The governor also stressing that he is prepared to take more aggressive steps if people do not pay attention and social distance. He also said that if you've begun to fill out an unemployment application and lost your job due to COVID-19, if you've already started that, he suggested you fill out that application by midnight tomorrow night in order to get your payment on time, as it might be delayed if the initial applications are not filled out until thereafter. President Trump spoke before the nation today, announcing that he is going to allow federal student loan borrowers to suspend their payments without penalty for at least 60 days, and standardized test requirements will not be required or enforced for all elementary and high school students across the nation during this pandemic. So no testing in Kentucky, McGoffin, or other schools. The president also announced earlier this week, as far as student loans, that he would waive the interest. Now he is actually going a step further, saying that under his plan, the federal government will pay down a minimum of $10,000 for all federal student loan borrowers. The plan also requiring Congress to authorize the Department of Education to make monthly loan payments on behalf of those federal student loan borrowers, paying down up to $10,000 for them. The president also announced today that he had postponed the tax filing date. It's been moved up from April the 15th to July the 15th. As of today, 14,250 confirmed cases of coronavirus in all 50 United States, including Washington, D.C., thus far, which has seen 205 COVID-19 related deaths. Rather, the United States, seeing 205 total, but Washington, D.C. included in all 50 states. With that said, 205 total across the nation. Scott County here in Kentucky has issued a curfew banning minors underage from being in groups of more than 10 in public places. No one under the age of 18 can be in public or unattended from 9 in the evening till 6 in the morning unless they're accompanied by a parent or legal guardian. California, Illinois, at least 2 states that I know of that have gone on complete shutdown and lockdown, telling everyone to stay inside, basically, and essentially shelter in place. Meanwhile, the flu, which we are normally concerned about, which has taken a backseat, flu activity is up this week. However, comparatively to normal flu seasons, it's low to moderate at most. 23,000 people have lost their lives from the flu this year. 38 million people have become sick, and almost 400,000 have been hospitalized. That is numbers that are down from years in recent time. But what is really concerning about the flu, children from 4 years and younger and adults 18 to 49 are now the highest that the CDC has ever recorded for those age groups in regards to the flu. That's even more than when we dealt with the H1N1 pandemic back in 2009, over 10 years ago. There have been 149 kids that have lost their lives to the flu this year. I'll be right back with local news in just a second. Need an oil change? Are your brakes shot? Are you ready to turn the wick up on your diesel or lift up and accessorize your 4x4 or get that dent fixed once and for all? Then call the professionals at Black Smoke Performance for all of your maintenance needs and auto body repair, from insurance collisions to full restoration projects. Black Smoke Performance on May Drive in Dixie of Sagersville, 3498785. Has spring ever arrived at the seasonal shop? If you're tired of those gray, rainy days, you need to come in because the shop is filled wall to wall with spring arrivals. The new Charlie Page spring line is filled with beautiful colors, prints, and styles for everyone. They've got accessories for every occasion, new jewelry, bags, and shoes. And spring is the perfect time for some redecorating or adding a few new accessories to your home. And their home decor is some of the most beautiful they've ever had. Farmhouse, traditional, equestrian, rustic, they have it all. So come into the shop and let them help you add to your home. And remember, they also offer wedding and baby registry and free local delivery at the seasonal shop in downtown Salyersville. With decades of experience and happy customers all over Kentucky, All Pro Gutter Works and Construction is now proud to offer long-term and 0% financing on their home improvements and home construction. That's new windows and floors, new bathrooms and kitchens, new roofs, siding, decks and porches, new turnkey homes and offices, and of course, continuous guttering in 21 colors. Locally, family owned and operated, and waiting on your next project and phone call. All Pro Gutter Works. It can be one of the hardest parts of being a parent. You can beg them, bribe them, hold them down and try to force them, and sometimes you still can't get them to take their medicine. Well, problem solved at Parkway Pharmacy with Flavor X. Let your kids customize their medicine with some of the best flavors that really do taste great, and it's totally free with your child's prescription at Parkway Pharmacy. So stop the suffering, theirs and yours, for free, and get your Flavor X flavored medicines at Parkway Pharmacy in Salyersville. Don't drive or let your family drive in this or this before doing this. Stopping at Conley Tire in Staffordsville for brakes, oil, alignment, and of course, tires. Thousands of tires in stock every day to fit anything, with 6 months no interest financing and over 33 years of quality service with a smile. Conley Tire in Staffordsville. If your spring projects include gravel, rock, sand, or drainage pipe, your dollar will go farther at Tomahawk Feed and Farm Supply here in Sayersville. It's always in stock and ready for pickup and delivery. And now there's 2 locations for all of your feed and farm needs. Tomahawk has the region's largest inventory and lowest prices on all pet and livestock feed, gates, fencing, and everything your farm needs. In Sayersville off 114 at Red Light number 4, and in West Liberty on Liberty Road behind the Ford store. Tomahawk Feed and Farm Supply. Creekside Stitching and Feed is the place to go for all of your custom embroidery needs. Shirts, caps, jackets, and more. And they've got the best prices on value-pack dog food, blue ribbon beef mix, kickin' chicken, and shell and cracked corn. And premium quality gates, hay rings, and bunk feeders, plus metal carports and garages as low as $1,400 installed. For all of your embroidery, feed, and farm supplies, Creekside Stitching and Feed, 1 mile up Bear Branch off of Route 30. The Herald-Leader reporting today that 2 churches in Kentucky are now seeing essentially their entire congregation quarantined after they held services against the governor's instructions and wishes last Sunday. 2 counties have had a potential exposure to nearly 200 people in all. Pulaski County has a church there. 40 people now being quarantined after being exposed possibly to COVID-19. An individual in their congregation tested positive after last Sunday's services. In Callaway County, a church there that had 150 people in attendance last Sunday also has had at least 1 member, as I referred to you a few moments ago. New cases in Pulaski and Callaway County. These are the cases. Test positive for COVID-19 following church services. Kentucky governor, of course, as we told you, urging still, as he has since last week, churches to cancel those statewide amid the COVID-19, but still many have held services. And Montgomery County Judge Executive Matt Wireman told me earlier today that he has seen local churches post on social media that they were planning on having in-person services possibly this weekend, to which he suggests very strongly they reconsider. This is an interview via Skype with the judge from just across the way a few moments ago. Judge Wireman also telling me that he had just gotten off the phone with Public Health Director Pete Shepard, among other things, finding out the latest information about the last of the initial 6 tests that were done here in Montgomery County. We knew that 4 of those were negative, and Wireman confirms that the other 2 have also come back negative. He does say, however, with an unknown number of other people tested since.
I just spoke with Mr. Shepard, Dr. Shepard, and as of right now, all the tests that have been taken and submitted have come back negative. I'm not sure if how many have been tested today. It's our understanding that right now, all of the things that are being reported are just going to be positives. So right now, with the timeline, all the tests should have been taken and submitted and come back as negative as of this as we're speaking right now.
What else do we have to catch up on today? I know that you were speaking earlier in regards to trying to encourage everyone to stay in, stay isolated, and self-quarantine regardless of your current status. Any examples that you have of that?
Right now, the executive order from the governor bans all group gatherings. That's not isolating any one group. It's all groups. That includes any type of civic organization, religious organization, the funeral home, everything. All these group gatherings are banned under this executive order. I think it just came up on Kentucky.com that a church in Pulaski County had 40 show up to church like this past Sunday, and they had a person in that congregation that showed up that was positive. I think in Western Kentucky, they had a church, maybe Callaway County, had 150 exposed. This is serious, folks. Those people that are at high risk are primarily the ones that we worry about. I think we've heard that over and over from the governor, but the younger folks are carrying it in to the older folks, and we don't need to have church services on Sunday and kill off half the congregation. I mean, that's just a plain and simple fact. We need to be cautious. We need to take this serious, and we need to start doing like we're doing here, and we can have our conversations and our meetings via the internet, via Skype, via whatever, and let's just be safe, and let's get through this.
With that said, life still does go on, just in small, very small numbers, and so does county government. The spring cleanup campaign was set to start next week. Is that still the case?
As of right now, unless something comes down from the governor that causes me not to be able to send my road crews out to do that, or we have some kind of other natural disaster. We've had some flooding this past couple of days with all this rain, but it's our intention to go ahead starting Monday and be in District 2, just like we always do every year, and picking up all those things that we have on the list. That includes tires on the rim. That question came up at the fiscal court meeting, and hopefully the weather will be good. Everybody will be able to get out and be able to enjoy themselves while doing this cleanup and have some sense of normalcy. But otherwise, you need to stay out of those places that you don't need to be. If you don't need to go to the store, don't go. If you need to go, go get what you need and go back to the house. Make sure you practice social distancing. This has been said over and over and over. We're smart people, and some of us are going to have to realize that this is true, and this is not something that's just made up. It's happening, and we need to be smart about it.
I'll take you on a little tour and tell you why I'm doing it in just a few seconds. Right now, here's this evening's just a reminder that we have a McGoffin Farm Bureau sponsored community calendar with a few service announcements, funeral-wise, brought to you nightly by the McGoffin County Funeral Home to follow. With everything essentially closed, canceled, or postponed, and it's been a relatively quiet community calendar for the past couple of days, but you know the drill. It's always here when you need it. And that, of course, includes birthdays and anniversaries, too, which continue to go on, so continue to send those to us. And remember, we're doing birth announcements and birthdays and wedding announcements and the like in the Sayersville Independent for free as a community, I don't want to call it a service, even though it is, but just as being a part of the community. So be sure to send those in to the Sayersville Independent office to make sure they get into the paper. Moving on for tonight, though, funeral service announcements brought to you by the McGoffin County Funeral Home. First off, Rosalie Salyer-Minix, 85, of Michigan, formerly of McGoffin County, passed away on the 12th and will be laid to rest following services tomorrow that are set to begin at 1. That's graveside services from the Minix Family Cemetery at 4 Acre. Formerly of McGoffin County, Rosalie was married to Luther Minix, who preceded her in death, while she's survived by her son Dean Minix and daughters Karen Sheatham, Sharon Graham, and Brenda Kinger. B.F. Holbrook, 94, of Sayersville, passed away Wednesday of this week. Survivors include his daughter, Belinda Hinton, stepdaughter, Benelyn Holbrook, and sister, Cashetta Cottle. In addition to his parents, B.F. is preceded in death by his wife, Connie Holbrook, 3 brothers, Ray, Roy, and Harry Thomas Holbrook. Friends can call on the funeral home at noon tomorrow. It's the McGoffin County Funeral Home, with graveside services to follow at 2 o'clock from the Holbrook Cemetery on Gardner Branch. And this message comes in loving memory on what would have been his birthday for their papa, Irvin Workman. His first birthday after his passing. In loving memory and happy heavenly 78th to their sweet papa, Irvin. Love always, Lucy and little Lucy.
I'm Dr. Jason Zimmerman at Highlands ARH, the healthcare system of Appalachia.
At Sayersville National Bank, they know your house is much more than your home. It's an investment, and for many of us, the biggest we'll ever make. And whether it's for needed repairs and maintenance, or a new addition or renovation to give you some more room and more equity, let Sayersville National Bank deal with all the financial work and worry. Real and real competitive, hometown, homegrown, home improvement loans at Sayersville National.
SSI and disability cases are harder to win these days. You need all the help you can get. If the government has turned you down, I will not. Many factors are considered when a claim is being processed, like your age, education, physical, and mental disabling conditions. When it comes time to winning your disability case, you should not face a federal judge alone. You need an attorney who is experienced, determined, hardworking, knowledgeable, and dedicated to helping you win benefits that you deserve. If you need help with your SSI or disability case, call me, Donald Wayne McFarland, and let me go to work for you.
At work, we do a lot of live shows with crowds. I used to sit up there and not really know who was looking at me. I was finally tired of contacts and glasses, tired of paying for contacts, and I just decided I need to get these eyes fixed. Able Eyes was great. If someone asked me if they should get LASIK, I would absolutely recommend it. At first, like many people, I'm hesitant, but after going to Able Eyes and they walk me through it, I know that it's a quick and painless process, and I recommend going to Able Eyes. They were the best.
Right now, you can take advantage of their lowest prices of the year at $1,800 per eye.
No other carrier provides service and signal to the mountains like the mountain's very own Appalachian Wireless, now providing service to Knox, Bell, and Whitley counties with retail locations in Middlesboro, Pineville, and Barberville. Appalachian Wireless offers a dependable network, exceptional customer service with a service that goes wherever you travel nationwide. We are local people serving local people, bringing today's best technology on the latest devices. Better service, bigger savings. That's today's Appalachian Wireless.
Magoffin County Heating, Cooling, and Refrigeration with professional, licensed, and certified commercial and residential service technicians that can maintain and repair all manufacturers with new and old installation and financing available. Serving Magoffin, Morgan, Lawrence, Martin, Johnson, Floyd, and Breathitt counties. Magoffin County Heating, Cooling, and Refrigeration, 349-1058 or 225-6779. So this next story is not breaking news, but just to let you know, fortunately, we've not had a major news day here locally, which has given us, me and some others, some time to really work on some other projects here in-house that will enable us to be with you each and every weeknight and each and every week in the Sagersville Independent as we continue further. No major announcements by comparison to this week's news up until this point, which is good because we have spent much of the day with our IT company to allow our employees with the Sagersville Independent to operate and continue operations as we normally do, but only do so from home and remotely, like other companies are doing all they can, all we can to adjust, to keep our customers safe and to limit exposure and spread of COVID-19. So I can't help but feel this is just a little bit like a Mr. Rogers moment, you know. And imagine that, the Sagersville Independent, available here. I thought I'd go ahead and take this chance just to give you the nickel tour real quick. Over here to our right when we walk in, with a nice little view of downtown. Pardon the exposure there, camera adjusting. This in the mornings is an office occupied by Mr. Tim Stamper. He comes in, does our billing, our books, and keeps everyone straight and accounted for. And in the evenings, occupied by my mother. They share the desk and office as she comes in the afternoon for a little while at 4 to start to get me ready for the show, making sure I haven't missed anything, got all the messages, everything I need to know in that respect. And then here on the other side of the pass-through when you walk in the door is where you would normally find Miss Jo Harvey. Jo is working from home today, as I said in the preface for this. That's the purpose of this whole little story and interview and tour. This is the first of what will be as many as needed days where we're going to have as much of our staff working from home. Over there is where our editor, Heather Oney, would normally be. She too working from home today. Behind her desk, well, that is the Sagersville Independent, as was published this week. Goes up on the board, gets proofed and double and triple checked, and then sent to the press after a week's worth of work. So we've had IT here all day today, making it possible for everyone here, Joe and Heather and another fellow I'll introduce to you in just a few moments, able to remotely access their computers from home. Oh, by the way, there's me on the Sagersville Independent many, many years and pounds ago. Some of my beloved St. Bernards, Tim Bostic, put that on several years ago, and I've had it ever since. Oh, more St. Bernards. And a few other mementos throughout our very first newspaper for the Sagersville Independent and Your News Today. You know, it's been over 2 years. Wow, since we bought the Sagersville Independent. Isn't that crazy? Anyway, this is the newspaper operation in its entirety in this room here. Joe's desk once again. Over there is our sales manager, Vanessa Castle's desk. She's not at it very much. Most of her time spent on the road and traveling. The only person sharing this building with me today is Mr. Jared Adams. Wave, Jared. Jared is our graphic design artist. He hails from Williamson, West Virginia, makes the drive every day. Think about that. He lays out both papers every week and is, right now, as he often does, laying out designs for some signs and banners. We've had a lot of signs and banners going out of here this weekend, certainly today. So he and the others, if everything goes right for the rest of the evening and tonight, and after all the connections and proper networking is made, they'll be working from home and doing the Sagersville Independent remotely, either every day or almost every day, just as much as we can keep them at home. That is our plans. Which means I'm going to be a lonely fella. I've really come to enjoy having these folks around. I got to be very, very honest. Just to let you know, as we make our way back to the studio, it was the kitchen, which has since been consumed by a portion of our print shop, being the computer that runs our large Roland wide format printer, which has just spit out a 4x8, looks like no parking banner that we've made for customer. We've had a lot of signs being made today in regards to, businesses closing and hours changing and things of that nature. So if you need anything of any type of sign, banner, graphic, we're doing it all. That's the laminator that goes with it, one of the other pieces of equipment. We've got a lot more in the back where we lay everything out, but this is where the main portion of the printing goes. And there, that's all old Sagersville Independence for decades and decades, as are these, which is what you see in our historical page, which is brought to you each and every week by Grover Arnott, going back to the 30s. Isn't that cool? Just a small bit of the materials which are just taking over this office every day that we have to run the print shop. And behind the big door was here before I was. I like it though. This is the studio, and this is where Your News Today takes place, as it has here for the past couple of years. And that's how I make it happen and look as though I'm on the roof every night, just in case you're wondering. A lot of folks have. I've got cameras all over the building and on the roof, and that's not the one you see every weeknight, but that is just one that I had clicked on, I guess. And it just sends a signal down to that monitor, and that gives me the backdrop each and every weeknight. That's the chair I sit at. That's the camera that films, and Mom is usually behind that camera. She comes in, goes to the front office for a little while, then comes back, operates that camera while I'm doing that portion of the show. And of course, with she not being allowed to come down either, as are the employees, I'll be doing that part. I'll be doing all of it myself, which I do from time to time. It's not that big of a deal, but it's not that fun either. And certainly a little lonely, but we'll still be putting the show together each and every weeknight at 6 and, of course, 11. That's a portion of the old equipment that I used to use when I put the show on tape, which thank goodness is no more. And that is all of the monitors that I used and computers to do the show now. Computers to put the show together, computers for the commercials, computers to do governmental meetings like the ones that we send over to Foothills Communications from all of the surrounding counties, for example, and just everything that gets edited and done happens right there. And that's where I spend most of my time, in between there and the print shop. And this is where I'll be by myself, it looks as though, for the most part, for the foreseeable future. Just putting this together, the nickel tour thing was just a little extra idea. Hope you enjoyed it, but just wanted everyone to know that that's kind of where our plans are, to limit traffic into the lobby here at the offices and studios, and to keep our staff at home as much as possible, but to keep operating, publishing the Big Sandy News on Wednesdays, the Sagersville Independent on Thursdays, and then of course nightly here at 6. I'll still be keeping you up to date with Your News Today, now in its 22nd year. Can you believe that? Well, hope you've enjoyed the visit. See you soon. In all actuality, we're going to be here the rest of the evening, much of the weekend, to make sure everything is set up and running as smoothly as possible. And we're going to continue to be here with you each and every weeknight, even if I'm in this big old building all by myself, with, of course, others working hard to keep you up to date on local news for Your News Today and for the Sagersville Independent. So be sure and stay with us. Real quickly, here's a look at what's happening weather-wise. Fortunately for the viewing area, we've been out of severe weather, but not everyone has. Doesn't look as though we're going to get in on any of this severe action as of right now. Showers a little bit here and there, but we have seen some action, as you can see, so some others, as it's now moving on off into the east and to our south. But a chance of showers exist in your forecast tonight, a break tomorrow, and then showers return Sunday and stick around for a while. With that said, here's looking ahead with your Licking Valley RACC outlook. Looking to tonight, showers and thunderstorms up until about midnight or so. Cloudy thereafter. Winds on average out of the west 7, 8, 9, 10 miles per hour. You could see them gust upwards of 18 miles per hour. And you could see more than that if we see any thunderstorms develop in our area. A 60% chance of showers and maybe up to a half an inch of rain tonight for a nice average for most of the viewing area. It's all going to be gone, though, after tonight, at least for a little while. Saturday, cooler as this cold front comes through. 48 tomorrow, but cloudy and relatively light wind out of the north, 3 to 5 miles per hour. Nothing by comparison to today and what we've seen a lot of as of late. And mostly cloudy skies, and 33 will wrap up your Saturday. So definitely cooler and more clouds than sun, but dry and calm for the first half of your weekend. Sunday's going to start off on the same note and warmer. We should hit around 57 on your Sunday after a chilly start that morning. We will see mostly cloudy skies throughout most of your Sunday, and then shower chances will work their way back into the weekend in the afternoon, early evening, 5, 6 o'clock on Sunday, to the tune of about 30% with a likelihood, a 90% chance, if you will, of showers later on Sunday night. So the rain sets back in Sunday night, continues into your Monday, early Monday at least. Showers likely up until about the noon hour, still in the upper 50s at the first of next week, low 40s Monday night. Monday night, the showers leave us mostly cloudy skies and, as I said, the low 40s. And then Tuesday, we have shower chances return. Mid-afternoon, mostly cloudy to the tune of 30%, as well as a daytime high of around 60 degrees on your Tuesday. And then showers ramp up, maybe with thunderstorms again, Tuesday night. Lows around 51. Wednesday, more of the same, mostly cloudy, a 40% chance of showers, and 66 Thursday. A little sunshine in the outlook, glad to say. Partly sunny skies. Still can't shake a 30% chance of showers, with Friday looking just about the same as Thursday. Low 70s, low 50s for highs and lows. A little sun and a little chance of some showers. With that said, I say this in leaving you tonight. I hope you have as much as is indeed possible, a safe, restful, joyous weekend, whatever it is you so choose to do, even though your options are certainly very limited. The weather will be cool and dry, and of course getting outside is certainly not banned, just doing so 6 feet away from whoever you're with and in very small numbers. We hope you stay safe. We hope everyone, of course, listens to the continued information that keeps coming from our local, state, and our national governments. And we do hope that we all make it through this as safe and as well as possible, and that the numbers of those who are exposed is just not as great as what is feared. If that's the case, then we have all won. We'll see you back here next Monday for more of Your News Today. Good night, and thank you so much for not just tuning in, but for being a part of this show.